Welcome to the Little Explorers classroom. Today, we're diving into one of the most important aspects of early childhood education, creating an inclusive classroom that supports every child's potential. But what does inclusive really mean? An inclusive classroom is a place where all children, regardless of their abilities, learning styles, challenges, or cultural backgrounds, feel welcome, valued, and understood. It's not just about physical access or surface level diversity, it's about belonging. It's about creating a safe space where every child can thrive emotionally, socially, and academically. As educators, caregivers, or facilitators, our role is to ensure that every child who enters our classroom feels seen and celebrated. Inclusion starts with empathy and is rooted in flexibility. It asks us to shift from a one size fits all mindset to one that recognizes and supports individual growth. That might mean adapting activities for different learning needs, using visuals and stories from various cultures, or simply being aware of how each child feels in a group setting. Creating an inclusive classroom also means actively engaging families and communities in the learning journey. When we build strong partnerships with parents, caregivers, and local support networks, we gain deeper insight into each child's strengths, needs, and cultural background. This collaborative approach not only enriches the classroom experience, but also reinforces consistency and trust between home and school. Inclusion is most powerful when it extends beyond the classroom walls and into the broader community, forming a circle of care around every child. Through this course, we'll explore how to build environments that are welcoming, safe, and respectful. We'll look at strategies that support differentiated instruction, foster peer collaboration, and help children develop confidence and a strong sense of self-worth. Together, let's uncover how we can nurture a classroom culture where every child, no matter their background or ability, feels like they belong, can participate meaningfully, and has the chance to reach their full potential. So let's get started, because inclusion isn't just a goal, it's a commitment we make to every little explorer in our care. As educators in early childhood settings, one of the most powerful things we can do is truly understand the unique challenges our students may face. Inclusion starts with empathy, and empathy begins with awareness. Let's begin by exploring three broad categories of challenges that children might experience: physical, social, and emotional, and communication. First, physical challenges. These include mobility issues, delays in fine motor skill development, sensory processing difficulties, or physical disabilities that may require the use of adaptive equipment. For example, a child may need more time to move between activities or special seating to support their posture during group time. It's important to recognize that these needs are not limitations. They are simply differences that require thoughtful planning and support. Next, social and emotional challenges. Some children may find it difficult to form relationships, regulate their emotions, or navigate social cues. They might experience anxiety in group settings or have trouble participating in cooperative play. These challenges can often go unseen, but they deeply impact a child's learning and sense of belonging. By creating a calm, predictable classroom environment and modeling emotional regulation, we can help these children feel safe and supported. And finally, communication challenges. These include speech delays, language barriers, or difficulties expressing and understanding ideas. Some children may rely on gestures or assistive communication tools. Others may understand you well but struggle to respond. When we slow down, offer visual supports, and use clear, simple language, we help every child participate meaningfully. Across all these areas, one thing remains key: building strong, trusting relationships with both children and their families. By listening carefully, observing closely, and keeping communication open, we gain insights that go beyond what any checklist can provide. Every child is unique. By understanding the different kinds of challenges they may face, we're taking the first step toward creating a truly inclusive classroom, one where every child is seen, supported, and given the chance to shine. Creating an accessible environment is one of the most powerful ways we can support all learners in our classroom, not just those with identified needs. Let's begin with physical inclusivity. Start by looking at your classroom layout. Are the pathways wide enough for children using mobility devices? Can they move freely without barriers? Think about accessibility. Materials should be placed at reachable heights so all children can participate independently. Material diversity is also key. Provide a range of tools and resources that support different learning styles and physical abilities. For example, chunky crayons for little hands or textured puzzles for sensory input. And remember, time adjustments. Some children may need extra time to transition or complete a task. Flexibility creates a sense of safety and success. On the other hand, cognitive and social support helps children understand, process, and engage more meaningfully. Use simplicity. Keep instructions short, clear, and supported by visuals when possible. Build routines through repetition. Predictability helps children feel secure and confident. Working in small groups allows for more personalized interaction and reduces overwhelm. And don't just explain, demonstrate. Show children what to do using actions, gestures, or peer modeling. This approach benefits all learners, especially those who process information differently. Ultimately, when we design environments with inclusion in mind, we're not just removing barriers. We're creating bridges for every child to learn, grow, and thrive. When we talk about creating a culturally inclusive classroom, it's important to understand that true inclusion goes far beyond festivals, food, or decorations on the walls. Real cultural awareness is about how we see, understand, and respond to the children and families we work with every day. Let's start with self reflection. Each of us brings our own cultural lens into the classroom, shaped by our upbringing, education, and life experiences. This lens influences how we interpret children's behaviors, how we communicate with families, and even what we view as normal. Recognizing our own biases and assumptions is a powerful first step. Are we assuming a child is misbehaving when they're simply responding based on different cultural norms at home? Are we making space for all types of family practices, even if they look different from our own? Next, let's look at authentic integration. Cultural inclusion shouldn't be limited to special days like International Week or Diwali displays. Instead, diversity should be woven into everyday teaching. Use books that reflect a range of backgrounds, choose songs and stories from different cultures, and include family voices in your lesson planning. When children see their own culture and those of their peers reflected regularly, they feel a deeper sense of belonging and value. And finally, continuous learning. Cultural competence isn't something we achieve and then check off. It's a lifelong journey. That means asking questions, staying curious, and seeking to understand the families we serve. Learn about different communication styles, like how some cultures emphasize eye contact while others may not. Understand that parenting practices, expressions of emotion, and even play can look different across communities, and that's okay. In fact, it's something to celebrate. By committing to self reflection, authentic integration, and ongoing learning, we move beyond token gestures. We create classrooms where every child feels seen, every family feels respected, and cultural differences are honored as strengths, not obstacles. That's the heart of culturally responsive education. When planning for inclusive education in early childhood, One key concept to understand is the difference between equality and equity. Equality means giving every child the exact same resources, the same amount of time, and the same level of support, regardless of their unique abilities or challenges. On the surface, this might seem fair, but in reality, it assumes that all children start from the same place and have the same needs, which simply isn't true. For example, if we give every child 10 minutes to complete a puzzle, that's equality. But what if some children need more time? Or what if the puzzle isn't accessible to children with fine motor difficulties? That's where equity comes in. Equity means giving each child what they specifically need to succeed. It's about recognizing differences and providing the appropriate tools, time, and support based on those needs. Some children may get adapted puzzles. Others may need peer helpers or a bit of extra time. The goal is not for everyone to get the same, but for everyone to have a fair opportunity to participate and thrive. As educators, our role is to strike a balance, ensuring group cohesion while still honoring individual needs. And that's the real art of inclusive teaching. Knowing when to level the field so every child has a clear path to grow, learn, and feel a sense of belonging. When we talk about inclusion in early childhood settings, it's not just about our intentions, it's also about our environment. Every part of your classroom sends a message. The question is, does your classroom reflect and celebrate the diversity of the children and families you serve? Let's look at four key areas to evaluate. First, environmental representation. Look around your classroom. Do the images, posters, books, and displays reflect authentic, diverse cultures? Or do they unintentionally lean on stereotypes? Children need to see themselves and their families reflected in positive, real ways. This helps them feel a strong sense of belonging and pride in their identity. Representation matters, and it should be more than just seasonal decor or special events. Second, language inclusion. Do the books in your classroom include languages other than English? Are there signs or labels in the home languages of your students? Language is a powerful connector. When children hear and see their first language in the classroom, it validates their identity and strengthens their communication skills. It also sends a clear message to families. You are welcome here. Third, play materials. Inclusive play is just as important as inclusive instruction. Look closely at your dolls, toy sets, and dramatic play props. Do they reflect different skin tones, body abilities, family structures, and cultural dress? Are there characters who use wheelchairs or wear glasses? Do your toys reflect a range of family roles, like single parents or grandparents as caregivers? Children learn through play, so ensuring your materials reflect real world diversity helps them develop empathy and respect for differences. And finally, family connections. True inclusion means building partnerships with families. Are you taking time to learn about each family's unique culture, traditions, and expectations? That could mean asking about holiday celebrations, understanding different parenting styles, or simply creating space for families to share their stories. When families feel respected and involved, children thrive. Remember, inclusion is a journey, not a checklist. By regularly evaluating your environment and being intentional about your choices, you create a classroom that not only teaches about diversity, but lives it every single day. As educators, we play a central role in shaping an inclusive classroom, not just by what we teach, but by how we connect, communicate, and respond to the children in our care. Inclusion is not a checkbox, it's a mindset, a daily commitment to seeing and celebrating every child for who they are. Let's explore three important roles teachers take on in creating this inclusive environment. First, the continuous learner. No two children are the same. especially when we think about children with disabilities or those from diverse cultural backgrounds. Their needs, their ways of expressing themselves, and even how they learn can vary significantly. As teachers, we must remain open, curious, and informed. That means asking families about their child's strengths and challenges, consulting with specialists, and using inclusive resources to guide our approach. The goal is not to become an expert on every disability or culture, but to show a willingness to learn, continuously and with humility. Next, the bridge builder. Inclusion also means helping all children understand and appreciate differences. This is where we actively build bridges between cultures, abilities, languages, and experiences. Through books, thoughtful conversations, and modeling respectful behavior, we teach children to embrace others with kindness and curiosity. For instance, when we read a story featuring a child who uses a wheelchair or lives in a different kind of family, we open up rich discussions that can help children view differences as normal and beautiful parts of life. And finally, the attitude shaper. Children are constantly observing us, how we react, what we say, and even what we don't say. This makes our role as attitude shapers incredibly powerful. We have the chance to instill empathy, fairness, and appreciation for diversity through our daily interactions. Whether it's gently guiding a child who made an unkind comment or intentionally celebrating a festival from a child's background, we are shaping values that last far beyond the classroom. Inclusion isn't just about accessibility or accommodations. It's about cultivating a community where every child feels safe, respected, and valued. And it starts with us. As educators committed to creating inclusive early learning environments, reflection is a powerful tool. It helps us recognize what we're doing well and where we may need to shift our approach to meet the needs of all children and families. Let's start by thinking about what's working well. Perhaps you've developed practices that have consistently supported every child, regardless of their background, ability, or need. Maybe you've created routines or learning stations that are flexible and welcoming for everyone. You might also have built positive and trusting relationships with diverse families. These relationships are foundational to inclusion. When families feel respected and heard, they're more likely to engage meaningfully in their child's learning journey. Take a moment to consider the materials and activities you use. Are they naturally inclusive? Do they reflect the cultures, languages, and abilities of the children in your care? If yes, that's a great strength to build upon. Also, think about the strategies you've used to help children appreciate differences. Simple activities like storytelling, group discussions, or celebrations of various traditions can open minds and foster empathy in very young learners. Now, let's gently shift our lens to areas we might want to do differently. Reflect on whether there are unintentional biases that could be influencing your interactions. We all have them, and naming them is the first step to growth. Look around your classroom environment. Could anything be more accessible or representative? Are there visual aids that include children with disabilities? Are different languages present in your displays? Then, consider how you communicate with families. Are there parents who may not fully understand what's happening at school due to language barriers or cultural differences? Do all families feel equally involved and valued? Finally, think about what more you could learn. Are there specific needs among your children, whether sensory, behavioral, or emotional, that you feel less equipped to support? Seeking out that knowledge through training or conversation can have a big impact. Remember, reflection is not about perfection, it's about progress. And by reflecting honestly, we give ourselves the gift of becoming even more inclusive, responsive, and compassionate educators. As educators and caregivers, one of the most impactful things we can do is to shift our mindset about differences. This slide reminds us that differences are not deficits. They are, in fact, opportunities for deeper learning, stronger empathy, and meaningful community building. When we welcome diversity in all its forms, be it race, culture, ability, family structure, or learning style, we create learning spaces that are not only inclusive but deeply enriching. The images you see here reflect just that: families and children of different backgrounds, all thriving in environments where love, acceptance, and connection are present. Think of a child who communicates differently, or one who sees the world in a unique way. Rather than seeing their difference as a challenge to fix, what if we saw it as a gift that helps everyone grow? That shift in perspective fosters empathy among peers and gives every child the sense that they truly belong. By embracing differences as valuable contributions, we set the tone for a classroom where every child is seen, heard, and supported. And in doing so, we model the kind of society we want our children to grow into, one where diversity isn't just accepted, but celebrated. As we come to the close of this session, it's important to highlight a key message. You are not alone in your inclusion journey. Creating an inclusive environment for young children and their families doesn't fall solely on your shoulders. There are incredible community resources available to support both early childhood development and family well being, and tapping into these networks can make a world of difference. Under early childhood support, we have professionals like Early Childhood Mental Health, ECMH, consultants who provide guidance on addressing behavioral and emotional needs in young children. Then there are child care health consultants, CCHCs, who help ensure safe, healthy learning environments. Programs like First Steps Early Intervention offer vital services for children with developmental delays, while Help Me Grow Kentucky connects families to developmental and community resources. Equally important are the family support services. Initiatives such as the Hands Home Visiting Program provide parenting support right at home, especially for first-time parents. Local food banks can relieve stress for families facing financial hardship, and often overlooked, religious and faith-based organizations offer not only material assistance, but emotional and social support as well. Lastly, United Way programs are powerful hubs that connect families to a wide range of community services tailored to their needs. Creating an inclusive classroom also means actively engaging families and communities in the learning journey. When we build strong partnerships with parents, caregivers, and local support networks, we gain deeper insight into each child's strengths, needs, and cultural background. This collaborative approach not only enriches the classroom experience, but also reinforces consistency and trust between home and school. Inclusion is most powerful when it extends beyond the classroom walls and into the broader community, forming a circle of care around every child. Inclusion also requires us to reflect on our own biases, assumptions, and teaching habits. It's an ongoing process of learning and unlearning, of listening deeply and being open to change. Sometimes it's in the small moments, offering a quiet space for a child who feels overwhelmed, using a child's home language in a greeting, or recognizing a different way of expressing understanding, that inclusion truly comes to life. When we model respect, acceptance, and curiosity, we teach children to do the same. The key takeaway? Inclusion doesn't mean doing everything by yourself. It means building a strong, responsive support system that uplifts every child and family in your care. Whether you're an educator, administrator, or caregiver, knowing who you can reach out to and encouraging families to do the same strengthens your capacity to create a truly inclusive learning space. So, as you move forward, keep this in mind. You are part of a larger web of support. By connecting with the right people and programs, you're not only enriching your practice, you're ensuring that no child and no family is left behind.